Hi, I'm Rod. Recently, Huntsville announced that the city wants to become a gig city, and they've asked for information on how best to do that. Now, I've prepared a formal written response to the city, but I want to share some ideas with you too. Now, I live and work in Huntsville. I've been here most of my life, and the jobs that I've had have given me a lot of experience in building networks. But this is not part of my job today. My employer does not build fiber to the home networks, so I'm talking to you as a fellow citizen whose only interest in this project is probably the same as yours, having gigabit internet at home. So if you like what you hear, I'll ask you to do two things. First, share this video with your friends. And secondly, if you want to keep in touch, visit the website below and add your name and email address to subscribe to future updates, or send in questions that I can address in future videos. Now, before I tell you exactly what I have in mind, I have a quick question for you. When you last plugged in your phone to charge, did you think about where the power to charge it was generated? Was it at the Stevenson coal plant, or maybe the Gunnersville Dam, or Browns Ferry nuclear plant? You probably didn't consider it, and really, it doesn't matter. That power generation could happen almost anywhere, and the energy would travel over the same wires to your house. Networks are a lot like that. When you tap on a web link or send a tweet, your information is packaged up in hundreds of little packets, and those packets can be sent over radio Wi-Fi, or over electrical signals on a cable, or maybe as pulses of light on fiber optic. But the packets don't know or care how they're being moved. And this is an important concept at the foundation of all modern networking. Networks are built in layers, so I need you to remember that. Okay, so here's the plan. Huntsville should join a partnership to build a locally owned, citizen-owned gig city network on which service providers can compete for your business. Today, the city rents utility poles and rights-of-way so that those service providers can choose which neighborhoods are lit with which services. And if you have more than one choice for internet service today, you're kind of lucky. Most people really only have one choice for broadband or faster internet service, and that's not much choice at all, because the big service providers don't really like to compete. When one builds into a neighborhood, a competitor looks at that and thinks, I'd rather put my money into a new neighborhood where I can be the only choice. It's a lot like West Side Story, with the Sharks and the Jets dividing up the city. The truth is that's a natural behavior. It's actually called a natural monopoly because it's more efficient for one network to serve everyone. Could you imagine building an additional sewer, water, or electrical system? That would just drive the costs up for everyone. That's why it's called a natural monopoly. So with enough bandwidth available, fiber networks begin to look a lot like utility networks, and that's why you hear people talking about internet service more as a utility these days. So let's build a fiber network, but just the network, the platform on which service providers will compete for your business. There are reasons the city itself should not be in the internet service business, and we'll get into that in a later video. But just like with roads and other infrastructure, the city should provide the resources on which businesses and consumers can do business together. Now, if you think this idea has some merit, I want you to do those two things that I asked about earlier. Number one, share this video. Talk about it with your friends. Join the discussion, poke holes in it, offer improvements. And secondly, visit the website below and add your name to the list of people that want to see this happen. Now, in the next video, we'll talk about why we need just one network with multiple service providers. We'll talk about why the city really can't be an internet service provider in the gig city. And thirdly, we'll talk about why this plan will make Huntsville the national model for net neutrality.